Good evening. This is a great night at BCC as we celebrate with these nurses, graduating nurses of 2021, and honor them. And we want to welcome those of you that are here and those of you that are watching from home. And certainly a special welcome to President Kennedy, to Provost Adam Klepetar, deans, faculty, family and friends who are watching on TV, and of course to our graduates here. I don't get to lecture anymore, so I was asked to speak tonight, and I can lecture for about 4 hours straight. Some of you know that, but I'll try to be brief. It's been a really stressful year. That's probably the biggest understatement of the century, right? It's been stressful for everyone, and especially for you, our students. Yet here you are, and we are here with you celebrating this rite of passage as we welcome you into the nursing profession as graduates in our associate degree nursing program. This is a very special class because all of you are nurses, right? You're all LPNs already, pursuing your education, going further into the ADN world and sitting for your registered nurse boards, and possibly even further from there. I thought really long and hard about what I wanted to say this evening. I reflected over the 30+ years that I've been a nurse, and I tried to think about what might I say to inspire someone graduating from an ADN program in 2021. What might I say to a new nurse to promote quiet reflection? Nursing presents so many opportunities. I never intended to teach in a nursing program. The same nursing program that I graduated from when I was 22 years old. That was just a couple years ago. I certainly never thought I would lead a nursing program. That was never even a thought way back then. I pursued nursing because I truly cared about people. I wanted to bring comfort to people, and because I wanted to make a difference in my community. Nursing is all about perspectives. Now my role is to come alongside this very talented group of faculty, some of whom are here, and future nurses, but my goal has remained unchanged. Your faculty and I truly care about you, truly want to mentor you and support you on your journey. We want students to understand how wonderful it is to be a nurse and what a gift it is to make a difference in someone's life. Nursing has become a very respected profession over the years, and especially in the past year. We've all witnessed stories of special nurses who were beside millions of people as they were terrified, struggling to breathe, unsure of their fate, and in some cases even dying alone. So many nurses made a difference. It's a great time to be a nurse. So after reflecting on years gone by, I came up with a challenge for each of you. I challenge you tonight to think about what kind of nurse you want to be. Nursing is all about perspectives. I believe that an excellent nurse has the ability to see things from the patient's view, from the family's view, as well as from the medical view. We have, as nurses, have the ability to have such an impact on so many lives. Not for fame, not for money, not for recognition, but just to make a difference in the world. Whether you're the nurse caring for a child who's terrified and inconsolable, or a mom who's just given birth, or for a drug-addicted person who just needs a caring presence, or someone who struggles with alcohol, who just needs someone to believe in them. Maybe you're caring for a suicidal teen who needs someone to listen and relate to them. Or maybe a patient who just received a devastating diagnosis that is life-changing. Maybe it's a patient that you assess and recognize a subtle change in, or one who crashes on your shift. Or an elderly person who's terrified to lose all independence and the ability to care for themselves. Maybe even a person at end of life, at any age, who has to say goodbye to their family and friends to face the unknown. There's so many scenarios, so many perspectives. So I ask you again to reflect. What kind of nurse do you want to be? What message do you want to send your patients and your coworkers? We hope and trust that you will be that nurse who will make a difference. Be the nurse who goes the extra mile and really cares. Be that nurse that brings comfort and eases anxiety and fear. Be the nurse that smiles and even sings while working, right, Nixon? One who obviously loves their profession. Be that nurse who truly listens and is not afraid of silence or a gentle touch. Be the nurse that you would want to care for your family member. Be a nurse who's committed to a lifetime of learning and a lifetime of loving others. You're entering the nursing field as RNs at a time when healthcare workers are exhausted, negativity is the norm, and burnout is huge. The pandemic has affected us all. What kind of nurse do you want to be? Think about it. I encourage you all to be exceptional nurses that reflect before every shift about what an honor and privilege it is to care for others who are ill, and at the end of every shift, who can look back and know that they made a difference. It's all about perspective. When my oldest daughter was 5, we ordered a butterfly kit. We watched in awe as our caterpillar began the process of changing into a beautiful butterfly. We watched it and nurtured it as it emerged transformed. That's how we feel here at BCC. We strive to nurture you and watch you each transform by learning and growing in knowledge and experience and confidence. Tonight, your faculty and I feel the same emotions of my young child. Once her butterfly was ready to fly, we made a plan to let it go. We decided that the butterfly needed to be free so others could enjoy its beauty. I can remember the day so vividly as she proudly watched her butterfly take off, tears streaming down her face as she yelled, "Fly, butterfly, fly." She was always pretty dramatic. It's with the same emotion that we say goodbye to each of you. While we're sad to see you go, we're so proud of you and know that you will share your beauty and knowledge with those who are entrusted to your care. For years, every time we saw a random butterfly, my daughter was convinced that it was ours. So we celebrate with you tonight and welcome you into the field of nursing as RNs, as colleagues, in all of your beauty, making a difference in the lives that you touch. We will proudly see you and say, "That's one of ours. That's a BCC nurse." So congratulations, you've earned it. As we begin the celebration and continue the celebration of each of you and all the ones that couldn't join us tonight as well, your classmates, I would like to welcome Assistant Professor Chris Kiernan to the stage.
Thank you, Laurie. That was beautiful. Good evening, and welcome to Berkshire Community College's 52nd pinning ceremony and awards night. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our president, Ellen Kennedy, who would like to speak to our graduates.
Good evening, and thank you, Chris, for that introduction and what remarkable remarks. I hope that I know this is an exciting moment and a moment that is hard sometimes to stay in the moment, but Dean Moon's words were really moving and thought-provoking, and I hope you take those with you when you leave tonight. What a night, what a moment. You have been through so much, and we hope we have been with you every step of the way. This has been an unusual time. This is an unusual ceremony as we celebrate what you have put yourselves through. And as Dean Moon mentioned, you have some added benefit of having been out in the field and practicing. You've been through the process of the NCLEX, and you know what lay ahead, and you know what you need to do to be ready, and we are rooting here for you. This has been an amazing year on all fronts. It's been amazing across the world. It has been amazing in the United States. It's been amazing in Massachusetts, in Berkshire County, and on Berkshire Community College's campus. Just a handful of you, of our students, were here for this past year, and each of you were consistent and focused and employed all of the skills and knowledge that you were learning to keep each other safe. While we did have some positive cases on our campus, we had no community spread because each of you committed to making sure that each other was safe in this process. You have stepped forward and put yourselves and your family through a lot to be here in this moment. We didn't think we would have a graduating class this year, and look who's coming out into Berkshire County, into Massachusetts, and into the United States. We are very, very proud of you in this moment, your faculty, the staff at the college, our leadership team. You've just heard from Dean Moon, Colleen Hunkler, and Tamara McCandless up here, who held so many pieces together and is making sure you are ready to file for your NCLEX. Your amazingly gifted faculty, I hope you'll each take a moment and think about the LPN faculty who brought you before this moment. Tonight we have a number of them with us, and we are grateful to those faculty who were here at Berkshire Community College, but we know some of you have probably come from other programs. So please take a moment and think about those individuals and what they meant to you. And I know this year's ADN faculty have worked exceptionally hard with you, and you were a joy and a reward to them. So on behalf of the college, we extend our congratulations. We know that we will have a graduation this year, which will be, again, a little bit different. And we hope that next year you will be with us at Tanglewood on June 3rd and come across the stage so we can celebrate you at that moment. So on behalf of the college, congratulations and all our good wishes. We are so very proud of you. Dean Moon asked you to think about the nurse you wanted to be. And I would ask you to remember that you are ambassadors of Berkshire Community College. You'll be representing us every single day going forward. And we know that you are well prepared, and we know that you'll be very special nurses, having been through this pandemic, having been through the challenge and the disruption that all of us have been. You have seen firsthand what needs to happen in healthcare. So congratulations and all our good wishes. Wishing you all success and joy in your work, as well as the challenges that makes it so interesting. Congratulations.
Thank you, President Kennedy. Now I'd like to introduce Pam Coley Mccann, who is our keynote speaker for this evening. Pam Coley Mccann is an associate professor in the social work, transfer, addiction, recovery, and mental health certificate programs at Berkshire Community College. In addition to teaching, Pam is a licensed independent clinical social worker and has a busy psychotherapy practice. With almost 40 years in the field, she has focused primarily on working with adults with severe mental health and trauma issues in a range of settings. Other areas of clinical expertise include addictions and dual disorders, codependency, eating disorders, motivational interviewing, and change theory. Most recently, Pam has enjoyed presenting to colleagues on numerous topics, including trauma-informed care, self-compassion, and post-traumatic growth theory.
Hi. Congratulations on this pretty awesome accomplishment. What a wonderful day for all of you, and I'm really glad I can be here to share it with you. I want you to take a moment and try to recall what your thoughts and feelings were as you began your journey at BCC. What have you learned about yourself along the way? What are you most proud of? Just let those feelings and ideas swell up inside of you and just savor that for a moment. You've accomplished a lot. I remember when COVID-19 became very real here at BCC. As a community college, we were filled with questions about how best to proceed, how to reduce the risk to students and to staff. What was the socially responsible thing to do? In the Human Services Department, we struggled with whether or not to pull our students from their internships. And I remember being at a meeting that Lori Moon was present, and she said the nursing students were continuing in their clinicals in the field because that's what nurses do. Nurses care for their patients. You've chosen a profession that demands tremendous heart, courage, and a commitment to lifelong learning. Several of the strongest people in my life have been nurses, and their work was woven into every part of their being. My favorite nurse was my Aunt Sue. My Aunt Sue had the patience of a saint. I remember when I asked her what drew her to nursing, and she told me she actually really didn't have much of a choice. When she was a young woman choosing a career path, women had 3 options: be a teacher, a secretary, or a nurse. So she picked option number 3. She often worked on holidays and overnights. As a result, our family normal was Thanksgiving sometimes celebrated a day early, a day late. Birthday parties didn't necessarily happen on your birthday. whenever anyone was sick in the family, even if it was just running a fever for too many days. Aunt Sue was called in for the consult. In hindsight, I wonder if it was a burden that we assumed a nursing degree made her medical expert. But she shared her knowledge freely and honestly. And while Aunt Sue entered the field not out of great passion for the work, she came to love her career dearly. The friendships she cherished most were those with fellow nursing students. They were with the colleagues that she spent day in and day out with in the field. Her Christmas tree was filled with nursing ornaments. And when she passed away, for me, one of the most cherished keepsakes was her original nursing bag, which I happen to bring with me today. So this is a really old nursing bag, but that was her nursing bag. I also want to just tell you about another client of mine who also ended up being a nurse, and we'll just call him Jake. When I first met Jake, he was 39 years old, a very successful but very unhappy engineer. Jake didn't hate being an engineer, but he felt a longing to have a job that offered him a different kind of purpose. What Jake really wanted was to become a nurse, but he feared judgment from his family and friends. It meant leaving a very comfortable male-dominated profession and entering a field that at that time was largely seen as a career track for women only. Like my Aunt Sue and Jake, each one of you has a unique story about what has brought you to this place. And yet there are probably as many commonalities as there are differences. Over the past year, our nurses, doctors, our first responders have been lovingly referred to as frontline heroes. A hero is defined as a person who, in the face of danger, combats adversity through feats of ingenuity, courage, or strength. Certainly when I reflect on living through this pandemic, I think that's a very accurate description of what each of you has done and will continue to do. However, the term hero can also conjure up the image of someone with superpowers, someone who is perhaps invincible or invulnerable. We put heroes up on a pedestal as if they're indestructible. I have to tell you, I think that's not only unfair, but perhaps dangerous. Because a person who, in the face of danger, who's combating adversity with feats of ingenuity, courage, and strength, he's still a person. And that heroic nurse is still a vulnerable human being. The same humanness that allows us to care deeply, to have compassion, to hold the hand of one who's dying, that humanness needs places for connection, nurturing, rest, and reflection. And when I sit and talk to frontline heroes about the past year, the stories I hear have been less about courage and more about exhaustion, grief, questioning, and sadness. This is a challenging time to be entering nursing. Richard Rohr says that if we do not transform our pain, we will most likely transmit it. You wouldn't be sitting here today if you didn't already possess a certain set of qualities: determination, persistence, an ability to juggle many responsibilities at the same time, and a wonderful capacity for connection. I'm confident along the way, though, that perhaps many of you have felt challenged and had moments of self-doubt about whether or not you might have been cut out for nursing. Perhaps there have been moments when you found yourself in tears or questioning how to understand human suffering or human behavior. The problem, I think, isn't that we feel pain or uncertainty or exhaustion. The problem is that we don't always know how to work with it when it happens. You can't imagine how honored I felt when Sarah invited me to share this day with you. Most likely, I was invited because I talk a lot about trauma. And I talk about the need to respect trauma in order to not just survive, but to thrive. Frontline heroes like yourself, you've given so much. And we're seeing the toll of the COVID-19 pandemic in terms of mental health problems, including anxiety, depression, PTSD symptoms, addiction, suicidal thinking. In the past year, we've experienced disruptions like we've never encountered in our medical systems, in our society, and our healthcare practices. The fear that this could happen again, that we might have new waves amidst new variants remains present for most healthcare workers. And that fear has immense impact on the mental and emotional well-being of medical staff, especially nurses. Our willingness to have open, candid conversations about mental health is critical. And historically, this has been really difficult for us to do as a society. We often feel ill-equipped to talk about our own mental well-being or to ask a colleague if they're doing all right. I would invite each of you to look around the room and consider that we have to look out for each other. We have to support each other through these challenging times. And I know that you will be able to do that. Understanding the traumatic impacts of the pandemic around nurses has also meant understanding this concept of a moral injury. A moral injury is described as a deep soul wound that occurs when a person feels they must take actions or they witness actions that violate their deeply held moral beliefs. You're nurses. You've been working in a field with a strong commitment that you've made to caring for your patients. A moral injury can occur when you're unable to ensure that your patients get the care they need. Or you struggle with what to do when caring for your patients potentially creates fear that a lack of PPE means that you or your loved ones are at risk. Or you're asked to take on a role that you don't feel adequately trained to do yet. As our understanding of trauma and its impact evolves, our current definition of trauma offers some important concepts. A traumatic response is not just about a specific event, but it's also about whether that event overwhelms the individual's coping resources. I don't want to minimize the suffering, the frustration, the lives lost that have occurred as a result of COVID-19. But questions about controlling or beating COVID-19 are much too big for me, so I'm going to focus on this second part of what constitutes a trauma, which is the event or the events overwhelm our individual or our community's coping resources. And these coping resources include not only our physical stamina, but emotional, mental, spiritual, social, and financial resources as well. These coping resources must also include, sorry about that, folks, include our willingness to engage in collective, genuine conversations about our distress, our fear, and ultimately having conversations that bring us back to our core values. So I want to go back very quickly to that earlier quote about if we don't transform our pain, we will most likely transmit it. The transmission of our pain can take a multitude of forms: irritability, difficulties allowing ourselves to connect, physical illness, defensiveness, depression, the list goes on. While the transmission of our pain is rarely an active, informed choice, the transformation of our pain, that's a conscious decision. Transformation of our pain starts with awareness and self-compassion. Self-compassion involves our understanding of our common humanity and how interconnected we all are. It means taking off our superhero capes and just viewing our imperfections in a tender, honest, respectful way. Self-compassion is about observing without judgment. Thinking about the idea that depressive symptoms aren't weakness. They're just an indication of a problem that needs attention. An observation about misusing alcohol is just valuable information. It doesn't define someone as either good or bad. So the more tender side of self-compassion involves unconditional self-acceptance and a validation of our feelings. The more active side of self-compassion requires creating boundaries, providing for our own needs, grappling with how to make meaning of things that we do not understand. There will be times that self-compassion requires solitude, and at another moment, a need for authentic, loving connection with others. I know that sometimes self-compassion can feel like a luxury, sort of a frivolous endeavor that takes you away from other things that are important. But I would invite you to consider that self-compassion is a necessity. It's an ethical obligation. It's a must-have in our toolboxes, now more than ever. Self-compassion is going to create that much-needed space for you to better understand what you need, what's the status of your current coping resources, and what are the feelings that you have to acknowledge before you can let them go. Sometimes we can confuse self-care with self-compassion. Self-care is about doing something kind or nice for yourself. And self-care certainly strengthens our ability to cope and to perform optimally. So I want to show you some of the things that used to be in my self-care box. When my Aunt Sue died, I decided I wanted to take her nursing bag and do something that would remind me about her and what she was about as a nurse. So I filled it up with things that kind of bring me back to my values and remind me about self-care. So I have a dog at home. I love pups, so I always have something warm to remind me about that. I have everyone's favorite, that stress management squeezy toy for those really bad days. For me, I have a book of prayers that kind of gets me grounded spiritually. This is the chains of some of my limiting self-talk that gets in the way of me being my very best. This is my Einstein doll. He used to remind me of the value of science. And this has nothing to do with my core values, but it's dark chocolate, and I really, really love it. What I've come to learn over the years, though, is self-care hasn't been enough for me. And that's really brought me to understand why we need self-compassion as well as self-care. Self-compassion impacts the part of our brain connected with increased feelings of trust, calm, safety, generosity, happiness, and connection. It's also a really wonderful major protective factor for depression and anxiety. So after a really difficult workday, self-care could mean taking a nap, going for a run, watching a comedy, hugging your child. Self-compassion, though, includes acknowledging your feelings, your thoughts, and being curious about what those feelings could help you learn about who you are and what you need. This combination of self-care and self-compassion creates really solid internal and external resources so that you can better navigate the unique challenges of nursing today. In embracing the challenges, the suffering, the joy, we grow even stronger. I hope that you find endless opportunities for growth, both professionally and personally, as you move forward in this incredibly honorable profession. Again, my very sincerest congratulations on this accomplishment. Great job, guys.
Thank you, Pam, for such an insightful and heartfelt message. Now, if you'd all please join me in welcoming Dean Lori Moon for the awards.
I do want to just mention the faculty that's here. We have some adjunct faculty here as well as full-time faculty. There are several folks that weren't able to come, but I think the students would agree that we have some absolutely wonderful, magnificent faculty here in this program. as well as Tamara McCandless, who's here, who does everything nursing. She is the brains of the administrative part of our nursing department, and she knows everything. I don't think I could do my job without her. And I also want to acknowledge Alzi Mercado, who has just been such a blessing to nursing, as we've had classes right here in this Bullen Theater, as well as over in K111, and microphones didn't work, or PowerPoint wouldn't go on, or we couldn't connect virtually, and she was always here. Even today, running up to set up an extra speaker for us at the last minute. We couldn't thank her enough for all of her help through this COVID year of nursing. It is my pleasure to award some of the regular nursing awards that we give every year, as well as a couple of new ones. So the first award is the Berkshire Health System's Spirit of Caring Award. This award is intended to assist promising students in the associate degree nursing program at BCC. It's given to a graduating nursing student who has demonstrated a commitment to patient-centered care. The recipient of this award is dedicated to the core values of the organization, which are integrity, compassion, excellence, teamwork, and stewardship. This year, unfortunately, she's not here, but I'm pleased to present this award to Mary Bell Burns. Mary Bell completed the LPN program last summer and bridged directly into the associate degree program. She's an excellent student with an infectious smile. One of the worst parts about wearing a mask for the past year is that we've missed that smile on Maribel's face at all times. We're proud to call Maribel a BCC nursing graduate and know that she will impact every person that she takes care of. The second award is the Bette Everson Award. It's presented to a student who exemplifies personal characteristics of commitment, perseverance, and professional growth. This award is presented to Jacqueline. Jacqueline is a dedicated and conscientious student who has displayed excellent leadership skills. She served as a leader in the LPN program last year and as a curriculum representative this year in the ADN program. Jackie is always professional, respectful, and is committed to the nursing field. We have no doubt that Jackie will accomplish great things in her future. So Jackie, if you want to come forward. The next two awards are new this year and are given in honor of Eric Engel, who was an ADN student that tragically died last fall. Eric was a first-year nursing student who was everyone's friend. His loss was felt across this campus, and especially by his classmates in the first-year program. Eric's family donated 2 stethoscopes to be awarded this year in his memory. So the faculty thought long and hard about what these awards were going to be. The first is the Spirit of Nursing Award. This award is presented to a student that seamlessly blends both the art and science of nursing through providing compassionate, evidence-based care to all those in need. It is an honor to present this award to Janet Ndugo. Janet is one of the hardest working students I've ever met. When faculty told me that she would be receiving this award, I was thrilled. Janet's faculty states that in clinical, it's often hard to find her because she's consistently in patients' rooms providing care and compassion. She encompasses the qualities of a nurse in every way. Congratulations, Janet. It's been a pleasure to be on this journey with you. And my last award is the Academic Achievement Award. This is presented to a graduating student who showed exemplary academic success in both the classroom and in clinical. I'm thrilled to present the award this year to Jonathan Bailey. Jonathan graduated from the LPN program last year and bridged into the associate degree program in the fall. Jonathan is a model student who is respectful, professional, and not only met but exceeded expectations in class and clinical. Jonathan has a wonderful future ahead of him and is sure to make a difference wherever he is employed. Congratulations, Jonathan. Congratulations to the recipients this evening, and there are certainly more nursing awards to be given out on Honors Night. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. I'd now like to introduce our curriculum representative, Jacqueline King, who would like to lead the class in the Nightingale Pledge.
Would my fellow class please rise? And recite the Nightingale Pledge with me. I pledge in the presence of this assembly that I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standards of nursing, that I will not knowingly administer any harmful drugs. I will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping, and all family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling. I will work as an equal member of the healthcare team for the benefit and welfare of those committed to my care. Thank you. Please take a seat. The graduate nurses of 2021 dedicate this program to our families, friends, co-workers, mentors, and fellow classmates for their never-ending support. Some of us have been together for 4 years of classes, some 2, and others just this 1. But without each and every one of you, we would never have achieved our goals. On behalf of my fellow graduates tonight, we want to thank Paula and Stan Walsick for generously donating the pins we are about to receive. Paula and Stan Walsick have generously donated these nursing pins to both the ADN and LPN students for the last 10 years. We are so very lucky to have such wonderful benefactors, and thank both of them for their generosity and commitment to both the nursing program graduates. Paula graduated from St. Anselm College with a BS in nursing and worked in the nursing field for a number of years, spending some time here at BCC as an adjunct faculty member. She is a financial advisor with Boston Harbor Wealth Advisors, a Raymond James Financial Incorporated affiliate in Pittsfield. Paula serves on the board of Central Berkshire Habitat for Humanity, the Community Recreation Association, and is a member of the Finance Committee of St. Agnes Church. Paula is also a member of the Board of Directors for Elder Services of Berkshire County and the Carving and Sculpting Studio in Rutland, Vermont. Stan, a former owner and president of O'Loughlin's Home Care Pharmacy and Medical Equipment in Dalton, has collaborated with Market 32 Pharmacy and joined their staff. He is both an alumnus of BCC and a former trustee serving a 10-year term. Stan is currently a member of the BCC Foundation. He is chairman of the board of directors for the Greylock Federal Credit Union and is inactive in a number of the state and national pharmacy associations. His work has been recognized with many awards, including the prestigious Bowl of Hygeia for service to the pharmacy profession. Both Stan and Paula have served as past presidents of the Dalton Rotary Club and recipients of the Paul Harris Award. Thank you, Paula and Stan Walsick.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our assistant professor, Mary Rose Williams, chairperson for the ADN program, and Jennifer Wilsack, professor of nursing.
Welcome, everyone. I'd like to introduce the ADN faculty that will be pinning the graduate nurses this evening. Assistant Professor Sarah Brohl, Assistant Professor Jillian Albano, and Assistant Professor Kelly Albozic. Can you please come to the stage? Can the first row please stand up? Janet Andugu. Kayla Armstrong. Jonathan Bailey. Sierra Berkeley. Second row, please stand up. Sarah Boria. Tanya Brissett. Crystal Dobert. Desiree Eason. Cecilia Ebule. Anne-Marie Izua. In the third row, please stand up. Mike Mbale. Tyler Johnson. Hannah Kim. Jacqueline King. Selena Kiplagat. Wendy Kipp.
Can the fourth row please stand? Anya Laird. Nikki Moore. Shauna Motley. Ana Altiende. Valencia Phillips. Jacqueline Polynice. Can the next row please stand? Shelby Preventure. Samantha Radke. Kayla Robinson. Caitlin Rosacalio. Joanne Serrano. Emily Shaw. Can the next row please stand? Nixon St. Bernard. Kanisha Tarjik. Elizabeth Tuam Barima. Jennifer Walker.
Can everyone please join us in congratulating the nursing graduates class of 2021.
Thank you. Could you please join me in welcoming Chaplain Robert Foreman for the blessing of the hands?
If it's okay, I'd like to offer a little prayer to you. And then we'll do the blessing of the hands. Will that be all right? Supported by the vast ground of being that sustains the cosmos and all life, thank you for rising to this calling. Thank you for the strength you have shown, and you will show, for you will be carrying enormous responsibility. Thank you for showing so much empathy, for you will be asked to not only care for people at their best, but also to care for us at our worst. Thank you for developing endurance, for even though your work will never be boring, it will also never end. Thank you for finding courage, for you will be asked to confront resounding triumphs and devastating failures. Thank you for your vision, which has led you to step into people's lives and to make a difference. Thank you for your humanity, for you will help life begin, and you will help us as we die. Thank you for crying, and thank you for laughing. Thank you for loving your patients when they most need you, and for remembering as well to love yourself and your families. May you who are here, and may all nurses and doctors remain safe and whole. And may you be strengthened by knowing that the work you will do is critically important and profoundly appreciated. May you be blessed and protected in this holy work. Amen. Now I'd like to ask you to put your flowers down. And I want you to hold out your hands like this. And I want you to look at your hands. Bless these hands that touch life and death. Bless these hands that hold pain and ease it. Bless these hands that bring meals and clean rooms and hold the phone and touch the keyboard. Bless these hands that wash and comfort and calm and heal. Bless these hands that support patients and their families and each other and the staff and our colleagues and one another. Bless these hands that sometimes grow weary. Bless these hands with hope and strength. It is my prayer that these hands know the love that they have and will offer to others. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Foreman. I would now like to introduce our curriculum representative, Nixon St. Bernard, for closing remarks.
First of all, I would like to say good evening and thank you very much to all the faculty and staff on the behalf of the 2021 ADN class. We want to express a lot of gratitude and thanks and your time that you take to come every day and stand up and teach us. And we are very grateful for that. However, I did get the opportunity to give the closing remarks, and I did ask some of the students, how long should I make the speech? And some of them say an hour, some say 10 minutes, but I'm going to do maybe 10 minutes. So what I'm about to say is, it's critical because they teach us critical in the classroom, and they teach us priority. So this is not, it's just 10 things I'm going to talk about here. And this is not like select all that apply. When I finish here, trust me, you will take one of what I'm saying and you're going to remember what I'm talking about in the future. So now that we're moving into, I would say, a different profession, more skills, more knowledge, more responsibility. So the first step is, this is just the beginning of our lifelong journey. Do not be afraid to fail. We will make mistakes and feel timid at times. As new nurses, yes, we will. But it's going to be okay, because before you know it, those fears will soon vanish. Number 2, I want you folks to listen up very carefully, okay? When you go to work, don't work hard at work. Go to work and work hard on yourself. Take every opportunity to be educated in your workplace. Take the classes and whatever certification they're offering you. There is a reason why they're offering it, so we should take it. Number 3, always present yourself in a professional manner. Respect, respect, respect yourself and others. Don't forget to say thank you. This one may hit home. Number 4, when you go to work, don't ask for an easy shift. Do not ask for an easy shift. An easy shift is just looking for an easy way out. Just wish you were better at what you do. Number 5, whatever you do, do it with passion, gratitude, and the best attitude. Let that be a habit. There are 2 types of attitude. We have good and bad. So in the morning, when we wake up, you choose one. Number 6, discipline and consistency. Work on it every day. If you're going to do a job, do it with passion And again, the magic word, the right attitude. Number 7. I know this one may sound out of the box, but we must always give back. One of my favorite saying is, I never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. Help each other and don't be selfish. We must always give back. Even if you don't give back money, give back some service somewhere. Aspire to make a difference. The only thing that will make a difference is your attitude towards others. Again, new nurses, the magic word is attitude. Be kind whenever possible, because it is always possible. So take the time to be kind and say thank you. Get in the habit of saying thank you. Thank you for life, for peace, gratitude, the right attitude. Again, the magic word, the right attitude. Because anything you want good, you can have, so work hard for it. And when you get it, again, give back as much as you can. I would like to ask the faculty to stand, please. So everyone that's standing here right now plays a part in our success. Whether we see them in the classroom or we never see them in the classroom, they all plays a part in our success. So there is one more point that I want to make is that I would like for we as new nurses, students, to repeat after me, and we have to say it with conviction. If not, we're not leaving here tonight. I'm telling you. I want you to look at every faculty standing here and say, we appreciate you. After 3, 1, 2, 3, we appreciate you. No, that was not everybody. No, we have to do this one more time. We have to say it loud. 1, 2, 3, we appreciate you. We could do much better than that. So let's do it one more time. I know everybody here could speak loud. 1, 2, 3, we appreciate you. Oh, much better. That was everybody. And one more. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. So I have one more point that I want to leave for you folks as I close. So I've been working as a nurse for a while, and I know a lot of us have been. So I just want to leave a saying by Dr. Wayne Dyer for you folks. And this is the one I think a lot of you will remember. So when we go to work, don't go to work and complain. Do not go to work and look for an easy way out. Do not go to work and complain. Don't get yourself sucked up into negative things at work. Because this is what Wayne Dyer says. He says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Do not go to work and complain and get yourself involved in situations that we're not supposed to. Because when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Thank you.